Right, welcome along. This is the first video of making bread in the Thefranster project. Basically what we're going to do, one of these things here is absolutely ideal for getting off eBay or something like that. You need one of these when you're making bread, and basically it's one of these electronic scales that you just flick on, and you might not be able to see it on the camera, but that's gone to 0 now. What you do is you put your pot on the top there, and if you press the button again, it zeroes itself so that you can weigh out your flour. Now with your flour, you can get normally just strong white flour for bread making, but I tend to go for the very strong stuff because you seem to get a better result out of it. So what you need there then is you need about 500 grams of the flour in the bowl, like so. So we just take it easy, make sure that we get the right measurement, and you'll see that's getting close now. 400, just over 500 grams, that's 509 grams. So just take that off, put that to one side, get rid of your flour, you're not going to need that again till later. Get yourself a glass then, or a little cup or something like that, zero it again. Now you need, a lot of bread chefs will turn around and say that you need about 8 to 10 grams of yeast. I tend to go for a little bit more because it just gives you that better result, and I go in for around about 12 to 14 is what you need for your yeast, and that's about what I want. Make sure you put your top back on your yeast as soon as you finish with it so you don't lose the goodness out of it. And then what I tend to do then is just take it out, stick it straight into the flour like so. A lot of bread chefs will tell you put a bit of salt in the one side and then the yeast in the other side. I tend to do it a different way, where I just put the yeast in, give it a good old mix up, and let's just turn the plug on, make sure we get it. Give that just a good mix round, make sure that you mix the yeast in. So there you go, the yeast's in there, right, okay. And then you just get yourself a handful of salt, like so. That's about enough. Stick that in. And then again, just move that around within the flour. And stop, okay. So that'll make this video nice and fast. I've already prepared the unsalted butter. Make sure that it's unsalted butter, and that's 30 grams of butter, which we stick straight in. Throw it all in. We go for about 35 again, because obviously you lose a bit that you've left in the bowl. And then what we do again, mix all that up. Okay, we mixed all that up, that's done. Okay, what we got there then is, you see my measuring jug there, I've just got over 300 millilitres of water. Now make sure this water is tepid, it's not got to be cold, it needs to just be a little finger warm. And basically what we do then is we get our jug, we get our water, all your yeast in there, all your unsalted butters in there, a little bit of salt in there as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fade this video out and then come back to it as we add the water. So what we do, we get our mixer going on the one side, stick about half of that water in to start with, give it a old mix round. First thing to do is keep your mixer into one side of the bowl and turn the bowl. And as you turn the bowl, you get a good mix of the yeast, good mix of the flour, good mix of the butter. It's all getting mixed in nice and evenly all the way around. As you can see, just slow down there. As you can see, it's starting to go a little bit lumpy, which is good. That's what we want. But also we want to make sure that the floury part of the dough is getting mixed in with the lumpy part of the dough. Everything's getting mixed in nice. So we move that around a bit. Let's get the rest of the water in there. And we'll give it a good fry around, yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to fade out this video now and fade back into the more or less end result. Right, so that's well mixed up together now. As you can see now, there's your dough there, ready to make your bread rolls. Doesn't look like much at the moment. You look at the size of that now, and once we've gone through this next part, you'll be able to see that again once it's proved. Now, if you don't know what proving is, it's quite simple. Basically, once you've kneaded that and you've done what you needed to do with it, you stick it in another bowl, stick over the top of it a cloth, dishcloth, or a bit of a medium-sized towel. Stick it somewhere warm, and we leave it for about an hour. Let's just show you what we're going to do with that now. What you need to do now, we've got a bit of flour there, we haven't really bothered about that. A lot of bread chefs will actually put flour down and knead their bread with flour, but a lot of the good ones, and hopefully myself, is we get a bit of olive oil and we stick it on the surface like so. You rub that in like so, so you've got a nice smooth surface, because the thing with bread is it tends to be very sticky, but with the olive oil, if you roll it around in the olive oil, it doesn't stick to your hands so much. So then basically what you need to do is, you've got your dough like that, you push, you pull it over, you turn it, you push, pull it, push it down, turn again, and you just keep doing that, okay? And you'll do that now for about 5 minutes. Flatten it out, turn it, flatten it out, turn it, and just keep doing that for about 5, maybe 10 minutes. The more you do it, the longer you do it, the better it is for the bread, because you're getting it all mixed in together, and you're getting the air in there as well. And we'll come back to that in a minute when we put that into the bowl. Okay, so from kneading your bread for around about 5 minutes, as you can see now, it's more or less ready to do what I want to do on my next step now. And the thing about bread, the thing about dough is, when you're kneading it like this, you know when it's ready because it starts going smooth on the top, and you can feel it just trying to stick to your hands, but it won't. So what I want to do is, I want to show you something now that I'm going to show you when I make the small pieces of bread for the bread rolls. Is, imagine that's the bread roll that we're going to get. It's going to be obviously a lot smaller than that after we've proved the bread. But what you do when you've got the little small balls that you've got ready for your bread roll, is you've got it like that, you've got it a nice round, circular, and then basically what you do, chop it like that. Just chop it with your hands like that. So what you're doing is you're making a nice round ball. Imagine these are going to be a lot smaller later on in this video to make your bread rolls, but that's how you make it, okay? So basically what we do now is we just bring ourselves a nice bowl about this size. Yeah, we throw a little bit of olive oil in it, not a lot, because bear in mind there's been a lot of olive oil going into that bread. And just spin it around the bowl with your hands, doesn't matter. You can use a bit of tissue, kitchen roll or whatever, a bit of greaseproof paper, it's up to you. Just get your fingers in there, that's what it's all about, being in the kitchen. You'll see that, and you'll see that at the moment I'm in the Scott Reed Project kitchen, and we're doing bread for a change. He normally does fish and meat, but what we're going to do is we're going to try and accompany our videos on this YouTube channel to the Scott Reed Project YouTube channel. And obviously I'll be the bread boy, you'll be the meat and fish boy, and we'll give you some great recipes over the next few months and maybe years. Let's see what happens. So basically what we do with that now is we've got our ball there. Again, chop it so that you don't leave anything on the counter, because it starts to stick to the counter a little bit. Chop it, okay, once you've got it, lift him up like that, drop him in there, centralise him in the bowl like that. What we do now is we stick a tea towel over the top of that, or whatever, nice clean one. Now, there's a great place in the house or wherever you are to go and leave that, and it's always somewhere a little bit warm. So best place will probably be in the airing cupboard or somewhere where the boiler is or something. It is quite warm in the Scott Reed Project's kitchen, so what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it there on top of the cooker. Now we leave that now for about an hour, and we'll come back to you. We'll fade the video back in after an hour, and we'll come back to you, and I want you to just have a look at that one more time before we go. Look at the size of that now. Just take a look at it. It's around about 6 inches across, little doughy ball, and you look at that size of that in about an hour's time. We'll leave that on top of the cooker and we'll be back with you shortly. Alright then, so we're back in the kitchen after about an hour and 15 minutes. That little ball has turned into that. Isn't that amazing? It's a lot of fun to do with your kids as well, so if you ever get a chance to cook and make bread, do it with your kids because they'll enjoy it as well. So, a lot of people will prove bread once, they'll start messing with it, they'll start cooking with it straight away. I don't do that. What I do is I'll come back again, get your olive oil, throw it on the counter like so, give it a good smooth round, make sure you've got plenty on there, make sure you spray it out nice and well, because don't forget you've got a bigger ball now and you need to cover that. If you look at that bread there, look, you see a few air holes there, look. Not a problem, it's gone down a little bit now because we don't get the air out of it because we're going to put the air back into it. Plonk it on there he goes, back on the thing. That, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A little bit more of olive oil on the top there, just get it in there. Don't be afraid to use a bit of olive oil because you don't want it to stick it to your hands if you can help it, yeah? Okay, again, now it's bigger. Do the same thing as what we did before. It's a bigger bit now, so just fold it, push it, fold it out, make sure you get it, and then fold it over again. Right, so what we do then is we do that again for about another 5 minutes. The one thing about making bread, and it goes with selling a house, and there's an old tip: when you sell a house, you put a fresh pot of coffee on, because anybody that's come in to look at your house, they smell that coffee and it gives the house a nice homely feel and a homely smell. Same with bread. When you're making bread, when you're cooking bread in a house, it gives the house a nice smell. It helps you sell your house, believe it or not. And that is a proven fact. So basically what we've done there then is we're just kneading that again. I'm going to fade that out. After I finish this little bit here, I'm just going to do what I did before. I'm going to put it into a bowl. I'm going to chop it like I did with my hands. I'm going to stick it back into the bowl again, recover it again with my kitchen towel or medium-sized towel, and I'm going to prove it and leave it there again for another hour. Now a lot of chefs, a lot of bread chefs won't do this, but a lot of other chefs swear by it. So let's just leave that now like that, and we'll come back to you again after an hour of proving that again.